Episode 496. The group followed Ye Shu's Lord Grimm, shifting their movement rhythm from time to time and surfacing occasionally to catch their breath. Those five over there were acting just as they had at the start, clearly not noticing a thing. And this change in movement rhythm was not unfamiliar to Qiancheng. Back in Line Canyon, he'd had the chance to experience it firsthand, a method for rationally using stamina to boost your average movement speed. Now that he knew the person before him was the great Yi Chu, how could Qiancheng have even a shred of doubt? He immediately followed along, studying hard and improving every day. After that one time he tried it, Qiancheng had made a point of studying the technique. After all, for someone who was constantly snatching kills and making quick getaways, this technique was incredibly practical. His research hadn't yielded any results yet, but he could already tell the current pace was a bit too fast. If I keep up this pace, my stamina won't last much longer. That doesn't seem to match what the expert emphasized back then. He was about to ask, but then he remembered they were underwater. Movement here was probably different from on land. He kept the question to himself for now, focusing instead on the distance to the five figures and making a mental calculation. The distance between them was closing. Qiancheng was getting a clear handle on the rhythm of his stamina usage. Then he realized with a jolt that while this rhythm might not maximize his stamina efficiency, it was more than enough to catch those five. And by guaranteeing he could catch the five, without worrying about conserving stamina, it meant this was the fastest way to catch them right now. After a moment of mental gymnastics, Qiancheng finally pieced it together, and his admiration for the expert soared to new heights. Just what kind of monstrous experience and calculation skills would that take? Just as Thousand City had predicted, they were closing the distance on that five-man team. As the splashes from the five figures thrashing ahead became visible, Chang saw wind-calm smoke and mist heave her heavy cannon onto her shoulder. A mass of bubbles churned from the muzzle, and she too was shoved backward by the recoil. For a gunner-class character, even a regular shot underwater would send them recoiling backwards from the kick. 3 shells shot from the cannon, and Yi Shu's Lord Grimm shot forward like a torpedo. The shells exploded, sending 3 overlapping waves across the water's surface. The 3 projectiles formed a triangular spread. Not a single one of the 5 players was left out. Caught in the spray, they were all sent skyward. Yi Shu's Lord Grimm swam a swift distance away, then suddenly raised his weapon. Another cluster of bubbles erupted, and the 5 players who had just splashed back into the water were sent flying once more with the waves. This left Thousand City utterly dumbstruck. Such seamless coordination, truly worthy of a professional-level golden duo. After the 2 anti-tank cannons, as the 5 fell once more, Lord Grimm was already upon them. The 5 of them already knew what was happening. At this point, they had no thought of fighting back, only of how they might manage to get 1 or 2 of their number to escape. The moment they hit the water, attacks came from all sides. Lord Grimm had fired a shot mid-charge and was already upon them. And what about the others, who were just charging ahead with single-minded focus? While the others were complete novices in the water, they still made for useful obstacles. Especially Concealed Light, who had summoned all his chaotic beasts again, scattering them everywhere. The 5 of them looked around, and all they could see were dead ends. By the time the genuine assassins, Ye Shu and Su Mucheng, arrived, what chance did those 5 have of escaping? A moment later, in the guild leaders' discussion group, Misty Rain's 10th server leader, Misty Rain Kang, popped up and posted a tearful emoji saying,
"Our guild lost a team too."
With Flower Picker as an example, Misty Rain's guild leader, Misty Rain Locked Tower, couldn't very well fly into a rage over losing a single team either. He said quite calmly.
"What's the situation?"
This statement left Misty Rain Kang, who had come to report, utterly bewildered. After a long hesitation, he decided there really shouldn't be any other way to put it, so he repeated himself. He thought it was something everyone should already know. They'd been killed by Happy's people over at Thousand Wave Lake.
"Of course we know that.
Misty Rain Lock Tower continued.
But I already warned everyone earlier. How could you still be so careless?
We were being careful, but somehow they still managed to get close to us.
The question Misty Rain Lock Tower asked was the same one Misty Rain Kang Kang had first posed to the 5 who were wiped out. He was simply relaying their answer.
With a god like Yishu on their side, they're bound to pull off things we can't even imagine.
As Tiananxing spoke, many people chimed in agreement. They had all been through that earlier water battle, where no one had managed to spot Ye Shu and Su Mucheng hiding underwater. What other explanation could there be, except that their abilities far exceeded what we had anticipated? And now, despite being on high alert, they were still approached and killed without anyone noticing. Yet in the group chat, the guilds all acted as if they were perfectly composed and unruffled. But the moment they turned to address their own guilds, they immediately became frantic, urgently checking if every team was on high alert. But what else could anyone do? After getting the full picture, the discussion group was once again at a standstill, everyone just staring blankly at each other, with no one able to propose a single plan. The guild leaders could only lament that this was a new server. If this were any of the older ones, they could have pulled people from the heavenly domain right away. No matter how capable Yishu is, they could always just drown him in a sea of bodies. But in this new server, there are less than 100 players who've reached the level for this leveling zone. The rest are lagging far behind, and most of them are newcomers. With all these issues, they're just not ready for prime time yet. The discussion group fell silent once more. Horse-treading West Wind and Misty Rain Lock Tower, who had just been discussing the progress of the Heavenly Domain dungeon, were in no mood for idle chatter either. With no collective plan, all they could do was warn their own teams to be careful. Beyond that, they were truly powerless.